by the way, you get a chance, go to vincentlporter.com, and that's my website and all that sort of stuff. But in there, I have a few things. I'm a sound therapist. I use tuning forks to help people
really
attract the energies that really do help you learn how powerful you are and heal yourself. I also have a CD, Simply Complex. It's by Lamond. Lamond is my middle name. But my thing is I have Traveling with Love, LOVE, Laura, Olivia, Vincent, and Elijah. That's our family's like travel thing. And you got to click on the little video because I got an animated, we got a theme song, and it's an animated version of it. And I'm slowly putting together these little cartoon skits, like with me and my daughter and stuff, built off of those avatars on the, with the Traveling with Love. So it's creativity, man, and just sharing it and saying, hey, okay, you don't want to hear me go and babble on, that's fine. Hey, how about you watch my cartoon with my family? Or how about you give me a call and see if you want a sound therapy session? So it's whatever you like to do will lead to what you love to do. Whatever you love to do is your passion, your purpose, your imagination, and creativity all in one. Share it with the world. Come on, let's do it. And that's the beauty of it all.
My man. I love your energy, man. I really do. I mean, that was one of the reasons why we wanted to do this with you and stuff.
I will tell you, I was completely flattered when you asked, because when I looked at it, I was like, huh. And I was like, okay, so what does that mean? So I went and actually looked up so the name of the show is what again? Can you say it for me?
Kaffeeklatsch.
Kaffeeklatsch. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went and I looked it up, and I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, so if I'm right, is it coffee gossip? Like just kind of like that? Yes. And then I looked at what you said, ordinary people having extraordinary conversations or something like that. I was like, oh, now you got me. And so I was like, yeah, I'm there. I am there. Absolutely amazing. And I tell you what, when you asked me to do the interview, that's one of the things I did. I went in and I checked out a couple of your interviews. I'm going to start butchering names, and I don't want to do that. But Sagit, yeah. Sagit, yes. Timar, is that?
Yeah, Timar, the dancing one.
I watched both of those, and one thing that I came away with both of those, well, first of all, I ended up contacting Sagit and had a session with her. So yes, right there, I understand exactly what you're talking about.
She's told us about this.
Absolutely blew my mind. I was like, oh, and she was telling me things. I'm like, what are you? Yes. And she was like, only if it resonates with you. And I wanted to jump up and down and run around, go, yes, it resonates with me. How? But one of the things I got from both the videos that I watched is how somehow, some way, y'all seem to be able to bring out that person's personality. Whatever it is was for them, you just were able to grab that and say, here, public, this is what this person had to offer. And I thought, yeah, I want to be a part of that.
Dude, you have no idea how amazing you are, though.
I appreciate that. I really do. When you say it's interesting when you say that, I kind of want to go, why easy. Because I think we are taught to humble ourselves, but the problem is we end up humbling ourselves out of our own lives. And if you walked into a movie theater and that movie was just put your name in there and it was about you, you're sitting in the back row and watching your movie. No, go sit up front. I know, go up on stage and you do that, because that's you and that's how powerful you are. And I think we're just willing to, you said that on the interview with, I want to say Sagit, I think you said that we are so powerful, but we're just really wanting to kind of shrink down into it. And just so you know, that's called the Jonas effect. Most of us think that we're fearful of failure. We are, because nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to do that. But actually, we're more fearful of success. Think about this. What is failure? I guess the ultimate failure would be death. I don't know. Maybe you can say I failed at something. But what's success? I mean, what's true success from a standpoint of what we as infinite, well, we're finite beings in this body, but infinite beings overall, because we're spiritual beings living a human existence, not the other way around. And so we don't have a concept of how big we are, so it scares us. So we end up shrinking. We just shrink ourselves, and we call it humility. Church, schools, pub, that all helps with that. But we just shrink ourselves, and kind of like what we talked about earlier, we just want to be a part of that group. We want to stay at that level. So people then that climb above that, we're all at first looking at them like, hey, where you think you going? How you think you are that good to do that? But they keep going. Then we start looking at them, and we start looking up to them like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, he did, well, he said he was going to do that, or she said, tell me more about that. So those same people that were telling you, how do you think you are good enough to do, those are the same people coming back to you saying, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about what you were saying there? Be glad to, and just talk to them. Let me tell you something about how powerful we are. If you think about it, the average human has 7 billion atoms that make up our body. You take one of those atoms, theoretically, and you split it, you get the same power that was released on the bomb in World War II that was dropped in Tokyo. So you take 7 billion of those, it's unfathomable. That's the thing. We have no concept of it. That's what scares us. But instead of reaching and grabbing it anyway and saying, all right, I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm going to go for it. And not just that, I'm going to reach out and grab other creators and show them the same thing. Whoo! And that's what y'all are doing. And I felt that. I read it, and then I saw it. Y'all are amazing. I say it back to you. You have no idea how amazing you are. I'll give you another thing. Now, see, now I'm gone now. I'm back on. I'm up on the soapbox.
Go on.
Our power, it really comes down to focus. If you take a piece of paper, you take this piece of paper right here, and I go set it on the sidewalk. If you had sunny days for 10 years, at best, it might change colors. But if I take a magnifying glass on that same sunny day and put it on this piece of paper, within 10 minutes, it's on fire. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? I don't know. I've never been to China. I'm sure they have great tea at reasonable prices. But what that has to do about this right now is that we are the magnifying glass. You, me, we each one, and it's just the infinite, just waiting to focus and send it out. I'm starting to realize that. I'm starting to understand that. And I just wanted to share it. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you remember, but when you told me you guys are kind of flexible and give me a time when I can do this interview, it took me 2 days to get back to you. You know why? Because I started doubting myself. I was like, well, you know what? It seems like a good idea and everything, but what do I have to say? Amazingly enough. And then I was just like, well, you know what? And finally it hit me. I woke up that morning and thought, what are you doing? You are in the right place at the right time to make the right move. Go for it, man. Just let them know, and everything else will take care of itself. So that's why to you, I say, thank you so much. And you guys,
thank you.
Y'all are powerful. Y'all got something. Those things are simply manifestations of the cause, the energy that it took to get you there. And that's the one thing that we don't understand. We do see the celebrities with the fancy cars, the fancy houses and all that sort of stuff. What we don't see is that same celebrity at 2 o'clock in the morning sitting there trying to learn lines to a crappy ass commercial that they did because they just had this vision that if I do this and this and this, it'll get me where I need to go. That's what we need to focus on. Now, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I don't care for those shows like American Idol and Voice. I respect them. Hey, everybody do what you do, how you do it. But I think we're more interested in the manifestation, that person that can belt out the big things and perform for us and show us that, yeah, but there's a million people sitting in that shower that probably have voices that are 10 times just as good, but they don't want to get out there because that, well, you know, I'm not ready. Look at that person on TV. Nah, that's not the point. You'll never be ready, ever. Because there'll always be something or somebody that has something that you don't have. And then you're like, well, yeah, I'll do it. I know, because I've said the same thing. And had you caught me a year or two ago, man, maybe even a year ago, I probably wouldn't have got back with you. I'd have talked about it. I'd have thought about it and even probably mentioned it to my wife. And she would have been like, go for it. I see what you're saying, baby. Wouldn't have done it. And because I would have simply said to myself, well, I don't think I have enough to say yet. I don't know if that ever comes. You just have to recognize and not care enough about what people are going to say, and say whatever it is that I have to give and share to the world is most important. And it's important over all of that other stuff. And then just give it. Because like you said, when you send that email out for somebody to do an interview, it's a 50-50 chance. They may not, they may do it. And so you respect that. You just send that out and you let it be. Powerful stuff, man. It's powerful stuff.
It seems like you words just kind of like you're just getting them from the freaking air. Like, yeah. And it's just so congruent. Like your message is just so, like when you're talking about the whole like magnifying glass and it's like that's exactly what you do. It's like you take all these words and you're just like.
I would get through 2 sentences and then I would have to think about what to say next.
No, I appreciate that, but you know what ended up happening? I'd say about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, give or take. I started having trouble sleeping, or I've never really been the most rhythmic sleeper anyway. My wife, she lays down at 9 o'clock. She will get 8 hours, not 7 hours and 59 minutes, but 8 hours. Mama can sleep. Me, I've just never really been like that. I'll sleep for about 3 hours. I get up, So what I started doing is I would literally be pacing the house and just thinking, this is when I was in that 2,700 square foot house. Hey, I had enough room, so I just pick a room. And I'd just be walking back and forth pacing, and I would imagine, I would picture, the TED Talks, right?
Yeah.
I would picture I'm on stage and I'm doing a TED Talk, and all those things that I'm saying to you, I just refined it. And I literally would sit and I would have a conversation and I'm talking to you, but it's exactly how I was talking to myself. And that's when it dawned on me that I am the most knowledgeable and powerful energy source I will ever know. And that's not egoic. As a matter of fact, it's on the complete opposite side of ego. It's just as humble as I can possibly be. But I also believe that about you and anybody that I talk to. And so I started developing that voice to the point where I said, you know what? Why don't I record it? So then I started recording the things that I was saying. And it would go for 15, 20 minutes, and I would put it in a software, and I'd listen to it, and I'd pare it down to like 3 or 4 minutes. And I have these 4 or 5 minute things that are just so powerful. Then I got real kind of, I started, as the old folks would say down south, I started smelling myself. I said, oh, what if I put music to it? So then I found some music and put it behind it. I kid you not, it just took it all to a whole nother level. And I'm working with a guy right now because I have 3 of them that I put back to back. It ends up being about 7 minutes that I just think is just so powerful. And this guy is just an amazing photographer and videographer. And so we're going to put that together, and I want to make a video. All we think is, that's just childish stuff. I don't even want. I was in a business group literally where a guy formed a business on teaching people how to climb trees. Seriously, think about this now. If you told somebody, hey man, I'm gonna have a business where I teach people how to climb trees, you're an idiot. Yeah, that's not gonna work. This guy is flourishing because he tapped inside of a childlike memory of most of us, or any of us, if you climbed a tree, and just how fun that was just to look at that tree and go, can I conquer that tree? Yes, I'm up in there. And he literally had videos on how to climb a tree. And it just shows how whatever you want to do, however powerful your vision is, it's your vision. Take that and grab it. I've had the opportunity to talk to so many people at picnics or functions and say, I always get to it too, because my wife, after it's over, she'll say, all right, who'd you ask today? But I'll say, we'll get past the formalities, what you do, your job and all that sort of stuff. Then I'll just say, hey, what do you like to do? Or love to do? And you don't know how many people, I've had the extremes. I had a guy literally just sit there and look at me. And I was like, and it was really uncomfortable. And he said, I don't know. He didn't know. If you asked a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? Within 3 to 6 seconds, they've told you 100 things, because all of that's possible. So for him to tell me, I don't know, you just forgot. That's all that is.
Yeah.
And I had another guy literally get mad at me. He said, well, I don't know why I have to think about that sort of stuff. You don't have to. But it's sad that you get mad that somebody's asking you to think about it. It doesn't cost you a dime. You don't have to share it if you don't want. If you like to color little football men or something like that, I even had a guy that did that. He said, man, I have a whole football team, American football. I do this and I do that. And when he talked about it, his shoulders went down, smile came on his face, and his eyes brightened up like he was a little kid. That's what we need to get back to. And I tell you what, it's just such a powerful thing. And that's the thing you guys are tapping into. You're tapping into this creativity, this thing that you can't put your finger on it. And honestly, you can't even put a number to it or really explain it. All you can do is just feel it. That's the energy you guys are feeling from me. Well, other than the fact that I'm just seem to be a hyper guy anyway, but that's the feeling you get when you talk to me and go, man, that energy. The thing about being a motivational speaker that I won't say I don't like it, and I appreciate you saying it, is the problem with motivational speakers is you're like, yeah, I want to do that. And then as soon as I walk away, you go, but let me go back to my job because that's just blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to find a way, or no, what I'm cultivating is a way to say, ultimately, what I just told you is almost like me going up to a homeless person and saying, hey, you're homeless, and then walking away. And the person's like, well, yeah, I kind of already knew that. What you got for me? And so what I wanted to do is take it a step further. Yeah, I want to motivate you, but I want to give you tools to get there too. And so those are the things that I'm developing day by day and just more and more.